Hello my dear beloveds, it's that time of the year where we are almost ready to sacrifice one of our important organs to get an iPhone. As why need two when we can survive with just one of them, right? But this year you might have to sell both of them. Now this year there will be the base iPhone 17, the Plus model gets slimmed down to be the Pixel 7, the iPhone 17 Air. Hey, I'm not fat shaming, it's Apple, with the iPhone 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max. Now the iPhones are usually released on September every year, and so will it be for this year too. The iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro series will launch alongside the Apple AirPods Pro 3, the MacBook M5 Pro and the Apple Watch Ultra 3. In the Apple event that might happen around September 8th or 10th, then pre-bookings might start around September 12th or 13th and the phones might hit the store starting September 20th. There is a possibility of the delay of the iPhone Pro models to hit the store right away, but maybe by then you might start questioning your life decisions and make better choices. And as for the pricing, hold on tight. The iPhone 17 could either start from the same price as last year, that was around 80,000 rupees, or it could get bumped up to around 85,000 rupees, which I'm a bit skeptical about, but it could happen due to certain reasons coming up later. Then the Pixel 7F, the iPhone 17 Air might start around 90,000 to 1 lakh rupees. Yup. The Pro models could take the biggest price jumps, where the iPhone 17 Pro might just start from around 1,45,000 rupees, which would be a 25,000 rupees jump from the last year, and the iPhone 17 Pro Max could start anywhere from around 1,60,000 to 65,000 rupees, which would be around 20,000 rupees price jump from last year. And for the iPhone 17 and the 17 Air, the base storage model would probably still be only 128 GB to around 512 GB at max. And for the iPhone 17 Pro, I am not sure whether it will start with 128 GB as the base storage, which I really hope it's not. Like, imagine paying so much money to get just 128 GB storage at that price. It would be nothing less than a daylight robbery. So let's just expect the iPhone 17 Pro and the Pro Max both to start from 256 GB base storage to around 1 TB of maximum storage options. So in that sense, the 1 TB option of the iPhone 17 Pro Max might cost up to 2 lakh rupees. Like 2 lakh rupees for a smartphone. 2025 is gonna get crazier, guys. So will all of these price jumps be worth it? Like, what are the upgrades we are gonna get for so much more money? Well, the iPhone 17 would pretty much look the same as the iPhone 16 with like subtle new color options, and the display would get a bit bigger to around 6.3 inches with finally a 120Hz refresh rate option, which might not be as variable as you might like, so it wouldn't go down to like 1 Hz, maybe around 30 Hz at most to save some battery when the display is not in use. Same for the Pixel 7, the 17 Air, but with a bigger 6.65 inch display for that, with a thickness of about 5.5 to 5.8 millimeters. With a rumor that says it would only have a single speaker setup, that too in the upper part of the phone, due to that small space. Which is like, why? Who asked for these downgrades? Just to get a slim phone. Plus you would finally be getting a feature that has been with Android since forever, an always on display option on these non-Pro models. The display tech I think would be the same as the base iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus for these two, so don't expect a significantly better and brighter display on either of these. Yes, the dynamic island might just get a little smaller this year. The processor could be last year's Apple A18 Pro or the A19 for both of these non-Pro models, as the term Pro in the processor of a non-Pro iPhone wouldn't be something that Apple would do, with the same 8GB of RAM and 128GB of base storage for both of these options, with that underbaked Apple intelligence, which might be a little better thanks to the newer and more powerful plus efficient chipset on these. The rear cameras would still be the same 48MP main with 12MP ultrawide for the iPhone 17, and for the iPhone Pixel 17 Air it would just be that one 48MP camera, so pay more to get less would be the new motto for Samsung and Apple this year. But the front cameras would be upgraded to 24MP instead of 12MP this year across all of the iPhones. So that means the Instagram influencers could now mislead their underaged audience with even better quality. And as for the batteries, the iPhone 17 would still use the 3561mAh battery with around 30 watts wired and around 20 to 25 watts MagSafe for wireless charging support. So with that bigger display and 120Hz refresh rate, which even might be an LTPO1, with the probable more efficient chipset, the battery life would pretty much be the same as last year, which wouldn't be bad but also wouldn't be great either. And for the iPhone Pixel 17, wait, it looks more like the Google Nexus 6P, doesn't it? You would get 5000mAh battery in your dreams, as in reality you would basically get half of the battery capacity of the iPhone 16 Plus. That would be around 28 to 2900mAh battery only. Yes, that's it. And even with the variable refresh rate and better processor with special AI implementations for maximizing the battery usage, the battery life wouldn't suck for like moderate to average users user, but it would be below standards for 2025 or 2026. Like, it's a very small battery. Plus, it will also have a much bigger display than the base iPhone 17. So how will Apple manage the battery life? Who knows? With around 30 watts fired and 20 to 25 watts wireless or MagSafe charging, which could be lower due to the tight space to reduce the heating, with no charger in the box. And as for the iPhone 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max, the iPhone 17 Pro would retain the 6.3-inch display as well as the 6.86-inch display on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, with of course that 1 to 120Hz ProMotion display, which would be brighter than last year with smaller dynamic island and maybe even slimmer bezels, and both might finally have an anti-reflective coating just like the Samsung S24 or the S25 Ultra, with less battery consumption than before. Both the 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max will sort of have a new camera island design at the back, which kinda looks similar and also not and weird. The Pros would get the Apple A19 Pro chipsets, which would be faster and more efficient than before, with about 12GB of RAM this time, with 256GB of base storage, hopefully for both of these Pro models. The rear cameras would also be improved, mainly the telephoto one, where there was already a 48MP main with also a 48MP ultrawide that was introduced last year, but this year both the Pros would get a 48MP telephoto camera, which was previously just a 12MP one, which would be a 3.5x optical one for the Pro and around 8x optical for the 17 Pro Max, which I'm a bit skeptical about, but it might happen, with a newer 24MP front camera on both, with probably an 8K 30fps video recording support finally. So overall, again, better cameras for better Instagram reels. And as for the battery sizes, it's still unclear, but you can expect the iPhone 17 Pro to get around 3800 to around 4000 mAh capacity or something close to that, and the 17 Pro Max would get around 4800 to as close as 5000 mAh battery, which would make this the first iPhone to break its 5000 mAh capacity virginity, with around 35 watts wired and 25 watts or maybe up to 50 watts wireless or MagSafe charging speeds, but take that with a pinch of salt. All of these iPhones will launch with Windows Vista, I mean the iOS 26, which hopefully will be a better version than the now betas are at, with much better and improved Apple Intelligence implementations. So will all of these be worth for the price jump? Nope, never. No. And stop this slim phone nonsense, get less and pay more crap. Please. Here's a video about which iPhone to get between the iPhone 13 and 14 and the 15 in the upcoming BBD or GIF sales, or the expected iPhone's pricing in the BBD or GIF sales. Do give them a watch, and as always till the next one, this was Ridib. See you guys.